And welcome to day 3. I say day 3, but it's not actually day 3. What are we doing today? So most importantly, let's go back to where we were. Part for people, tone folder, AES. So the last day we're up to was we just finished off the delay. If you want to keep track, if you go to our website, Program for People, under the new section development blog, we're going to be keeping a track of what we're doing here. So you can see today we uploaded the first and second section where we outlined what we did yesterday. But if we open Max and go back to our program, we can pick it up. And let's look at the blog post for the design. So this is where we were yesterday, where we could play a sound. He says, turn on a delay of variable length, and turn it off again. I don't know how well you can actually hear the audio coming out of the computer, but yesterday I messed up a video by having it too loud and completely overriding the microphone, so you'll just need to take my word for it, and I'll keep the spectrographs or spectroscopes going so we can always see what's happening. Today, oh god almighty, let's turn that off. So one of the other main things that we're looking at is we need all, as we spoke about, we're focusing on the processes at the moment, so the actual effects or the processing of the audio signals that we're taking in. So we've already taken care of the delay and the stacking of it. Let's go back and look at the, I think the time stretch or the frequency boost. The frequency boost is fairly straightforward. I think there is actually an object for it already. Max MSP frequency shifter. Yeah, there is a frequency shifting. So smooth we. Okay, let's start with this. Let's have a look at implementing a frequency shifter. So we can see what that's like. So let's do a P freq shift, and it is the 10th of the 4th. Same as before, we're going to have our standard inlet outlet, connect it up, and this just means that we can put it into our system without needing to do anything else. And because we've got our delay turned off, yesterday we finished it off with the multiplying the volume by 1 or by 0. When this is off, we know that we're getting the pure audio passed through into the frequency shift without any alterations. So I'm not worried about it running into the delay and then running into the frequency shifter at the moment. That's something we'll need to deal with in the future, but for now, we're good to go. I'm going to bring in a less aggressive tone. That'll do. Sorry about that. Let's just go into okay, back to where we were, frequency shift. So let's have a look at this. Frequency shift is a time domain frequency shifter, also known as a single sideband ring modulator. A numerical argument which can be used as the frequency shift in hertz. The default value is 0, convert to float. So this should, in theory, allow us to raise or lower a tone based on the frequency shift we desire. I say raise or lower, it means we'll be able to increase or lower the frequency. So it should be able to high pitched to low pitched. So let's bring freak shift. And then we have, let's look at the example. So, I mean, straight away you can see the frequency shift there is quite sort of, is relevant enough. And this is just a version using the FFT inside Max. If you don't know what FFT is, let's have a quick look. So the thrust Fourier transform. Why would you use this? It is something we've covered in the past, but it's basically it's a better way. It almost starts a thread inside Max to go in and process this. It doesn't happen in real time the same way. What is Max? Is an algorithm that samples a signal over a period of time or space and divides it into frequency components. These components are sinusoidal oscillations at distinct frequencies, each with their own amplitude and phase. So yeah, this is FFT is really good for calculating frequency transformations because it's able to sort of rapidly break down an entire sound and sort of almost do it in chunks, I think is what this is saying. Gilbert Stein described the FFT as the most important numerical algorithm of our lifetime. Well, there you go. So this is a pretty serious deal, but what this essentially means that in Max MSP, it can work things out faster for us. There is something special you need to do to actually load the PFFT here. I'm just trying to remember what it is. No patch or frequency shift. If it's not broken, don't fix it. This should be baked into Max as well. Oh, I've done my scale the wrong way around, that's why. And let's just compare that with the built-in frequency shift. See what this sound is like. So what should be happening is this should only be coming out of one of these at the moment, but that's clearly not the case. There we go. So this is the max frequency shift. I mean, I'm not an expert. But I cannot hear a difference. So we'll leave the choice there for now, but so let's just leave that so it's like this. On for max shifter, off for shifter. Just so the client can decide which one they sound best. So that's not right. And then we want our audio out. So the problem we have here is when the gate is switched off. Have I just missed one? No audio is passing through at all. Where what we actually want to happen is that the original audio is sent through without any sort of frequency shift at all. So what we want this trigger to do is 0, set 0, 0.5. We want to set the value of the slider to 0 essentially. I thought it was set 50. Oh, we just send it the value we want to set it to rather than this set message. And that should update it. But the 0 position of this is going to 5 minus. So we actually want to send it to 500. Range of 2000, so we want to send it to 1000. And that we should set it to 0, turn it on. And it's actually the raw sound that's being passed through. So it's more of a reset button than a pass through. We could put in a pass through, but it's probably going to be the same effect either way. I'm just trying to think what's going to be best processing wise. We'll leave it as is for now. If we need to put in the sample, there is probably a simple way of doing it. We'd have to do it with like a matrix, and then it would be 2, 1, I think. that means that we'd have a matrix that could either input 1 or... Yeah, because that could take from 2 sources, and then we pass it a message that is basically 0, 1 or 1, 0, and it inverts it, and it'll take from either of those 2 and pass them out, because a matrix is normally how you would mix signals in MSP. So instead of the toggle, we'll put a big bang into this one, and that will just turn it off. I'm also going to set so now if we play did I change the scale of this one? No, I did not. I've just been changing the value of the slider, or the range of the slider, so it properly passes the value into the slider inside of it, because of the minus 1000 offset that we've got in this value. And there we go. Let's try it with a different sound. Let's do turn it on repeat. So the whole point of the frequency shifter, let's go inside and change it to hear the other one. Is that you're to change the pitch of what you're hearing without actually altering the length of it. And I think that is what we're hearing here. I don't know enough about audio theory to confirm or deny. So let's say yes for now. And then we might have to readdress this a little later on when we learn a bit more about what's going on. So let's stop that. I'm going to save the patch, and then I am going to stop this video and start a new one.